Hey folks, if you're in the police recruitment process or you're preparing for the police promotion boards, then this video is for you, because in this video I'm going to explain to you how to structure the perfect interview answer for a rear-facing or hybrid question. Now, I know some of you are thinking, hybrid, what is that? Hybrid is something that's emerging in promotion boards. It's where it's a mix of a rear-facing and forward-facing question all in one, and this structure will enable you to do it. We came up with this structure before hybrid questions started becoming a thing, so we're already ahead of the curve, Now this is almost like part 2 of a series of 2. Previous video, I'll make sure there's a link in the comments below, in the blurb below, but the previous video we looked at this part here. I'll explain it in a little bit more detail just to refresh your memory. And in this video, we're going to take a look at the rest of our perfect structure. Now, where's this perfect structure come from? Well, for the past 28 years, I've been supporting people to succeed in the police recruitment process, in promotion boards. Oh, by the way, did I introduce myself? Brendan from Blue Light. I've been doing this kind of work now for a long time, decades actually, decades, a long time. Been in the police sector now for getting on for 39 years. And so what I've done is I've built up this incredible wealth of knowledge. Thousands of people have succeeded in the recruitment process. Thousands of people have been succeeding in the promotion boards as a result of my help. And it's enabled me to start developing, or continue to develop, more sophisticated models that are going to enable you to score better and higher marks in your interview, whether it's for the online assessment centre, for the final interview, or for the police promotion board. And that's going to be a bit of a focus for this, but if you're in the recruitment process, you'll find this interesting as well, promise you that. So where have we got this from? Well, in the Blue Light Academies, this is where we help people to plan, prepare and practice for their boards, for their recruitment process, whether it's online assessment centre or final interview. We work with people intensively, intensive one-to-ones, weekly webinars. Actually, we've got webinars that run every Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday evenings. 4 sets of webinars, although we're looking to spread them out a little bit better than that, because Sunday evenings, we shouldn't be doing that, should we? No one should be on a webinar on a Sunday evening. But anyway, it's just what we do at the moment. And so we've been developing a better way of answering an interview. I know some of you use Carl, SAW, STAR, but they're just a bit lame. They're not very structured, and everyone's using that model, and you just don't have the content to fill it. So your answers are coming out like 2 or 3 minutes long. It's just not long enough. Ideally, your answer needs to be 4 to 5 minutes long. If you're going for promotion, even longer. And so in the previous video, what I did is I looked at the SAARL part, which stands for Situation, Aim, Action, Result, Learning. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to look at the HR and the KU. This is so key to developing a really strong interview answer. And it's something that requires practice. It's not just going to happen overnight. You need to practice these skills. You need to plan, prepare, practice, so that on the day you can absolutely perform. There you go. 3 P's leading to a 4th P. You know, we like that kind of thing, don't we? 3 P's. The 3 P's of a successful interview answer. So first of all, we're going to take a look at this. The hook. So if we can imagine for a moment you're in the promotion board and you're asked a question about, can you tell me about a time when you have worked with other agencies to resolve a complex problem? Now, the first thing you're going to do is put a hook in there. And this is where, when we look at our forward-facing question model, this is our bank of pain. We develop a bank of pain. More about that in other videos. But the bank of pain is where we really hit the board members with something that's painful. So if it was around partnership working, one of the things I'd talk about is the failures of various agencies, including the police, to work with each other well, which led to someone being seriously harmed, or, bless their souls, even killed. And this happens over and over again. If we take a look, for example, at serious case reviews from where young children have been murdered, and this has been the case for decades now. You know, if you look at the executive summary, it'll say normally it's 1 or more of 3 things that have happened. 1, a lack of a joined up partnership approach. 2, a lack of information sharing. And 3, a lack of professional curiosity. And those things are endemic in those reports. And so what we can do is we can hit them with the pain and say, well, first of all, I'm going to talk to you why this is important, and then you just remind them of something that's really painful. Because as a chief officer, as a chief superintendent, whoever's assessing you, they'll be acutely aware of these things. It's like when you're getting your finger and you're sticking it in an open wound and just wriggling it around a little bit. You're just reminding them of the pain. If it's around welfare, you'd talk about how at this moment in time, and there is a force out there where this is the case, at this moment in time, 1/13 of all of our officers are off sick. And over half of them, 52% of them, are off sick with mental health issues. And this is leading to more officers resigning from our force than ever, in particular in the first 3 years. So not only can you talk about this is what's going on, but here's some stats to go with it, just to really remind you how painful all of this is. Why is diversity and inclusion so important? You could look at a case recently where an officer from a minority group has left the police and has taken the force to industrial tribunal for direct discrimination and has won the case, and it's cost them £1.5 million and a huge amount of bad publicity, and that officer has gone out and told numerous people how bad it is in the police. Do we really want that narrative? No, we don't. Again, here's the wound, here's the bank of pain. We're just going to wriggle our finger in it and just remind them. So that's the hook, and we work really hard on this to make sure our hooks are absolutely perfect, because at this point we want the board on the edge of their seats. Make sense? All right, real talk. This is real talk. This isn't sort of CVF speak. This is real talk. You're there to put them on the edge of their seats and to have them by the end of your answer thinking, I'd be an idiot if I failed this person. Make sense? All right, let's go to the next one. Result. So the next stage in our HRSAARLKU model is actually talking about the result. And you might be thinking, but there's a result there. Yes, there is, but that's the result, but that's different. This is where you're going to say, in my answer here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you an account of how I solved the problem. Whatever the thing is that was in the hook, how you solved it. And if you're thinking, well, I've not actually solved any of those problems, you're probably not ready for promotion. If I'm blunt, you're probably not ready for promotion, because you need to demonstrate how you have contributed to the force strategic plan. And then the force strategic plan will talk to the pain that the force is in, or it should do. If it doesn't, then it's just complete gobbledygook. And don't get me started. I've seen some that I've got to page 2 and just thought, I don't know what any of this is about. But it's your job as a leader to translate that strategic plan, even if it is corporate gobbledygook that no one understands, including the leaders. So I'll challenge any of them. I'm not even going to, I will name and shame some of the forces in the future, but for the moment, I'm not going to. Some forces out there, it's just corporate sludge. It really is. It's your job as a leader to translate it. So what you're going to talk about is how you have actually got the result. So again, you're getting them on the edge of their seats because you're demonstrating that you have got the result that they're looking for. So they want to hear about it, don't they? It's like, wow, I didn't know that. I wasn't even sure if we could do that, and I'm looking forward to this answer. Now, I've got to give kudos here to one of our blue light awesome coaches, Raj Kohli, who is ex-Metropolitan Police and Hampshire and Isle of Wight Police, retired Chief Superintendent, Twitter, star of Twitter. Everyone knows him on Twitter. But it's actually Raj that added this to our model on one of our away days when we got together as coaches and just looked at how we can improve the service that we provide. So then we go into the standard situation, aim, action, result, learning. Now, this is where we tackle the hybrid model. This is where we've been tackling it already. Now, where did this come from? On one of our promotion webinars where we practice interview questions, one of our candidates said they've been told by their force to expect a hybrid question. Expect a hybrid question in your promotion board? Whoa, they just didn't know where to begin. They were even given an example. And it went along the lines of, can you tell me about a time when? What did you learn from it? And how would you implement this as a leader? So really, it's not that complicated. It's just freaked a lot of people out actually, because it's a hybrid question. It's a rear-facing and it's a forward-facing question at the same time. So what? We've got a model for it. Here it is. You start with a hook, result, situation, aim, action, result. you just talked about, this is what I did in respect of the thing. Working in partnership with others, making difficult decisions, challenging inappropriate behaviour, creating a team where welfare was built into the culture, decision making was built into a culture, where you have in the past demonstrated how you've been able to enable a high performing team. Whatever the question is, there's your rear facing part. Now, then you're going to talk about what you do differently. What did you learn from this? And now we're going to go into the next phase. So you've talked about what you're going to learn about it. Now we've already covered the first 2 parts of that 3-part hybrid interview question. So now we're going to cover the 3rd part, and this is how we're going to do it. We're going to talk about our knowledge of that particular area of business. And this is kind of where we loop back to the hook a little bit and just remind them of the pain and say that one of the issues, why is this relevant to my future role as a sergeant? Why is this relevant to my future role as an inspector? And so we can talk about why this links in, this thing that you've been asked about links into the strategic plan, what's happened when it's all gone wrong, any stats that you've got, any narratives that you've got that the chiefs or the board will be well aware of. So this is where you're demonstrating that you are all over this area of the strategic plan, of their strategy, plan on the page, whatever they've got, whatever their thing is, whatever floats their boat. It's all the same stuff. It's either really complicated or corporate sludge, or it's nice and simple, people get it. Whatever it is, you've got to enable your team to understand it. That's part of your role as a leader. So you're going to demonstrate that through the knowledge part, and then we're going to move into the very last stage. So the very last stage of the HRSAARLKU model is understanding. And this is where, as a future leader, you're going to demonstrate your understanding of that issue, that thing, that competency, that value, that behavior that you need to demonstrate as a leader, to the extent where you can actually talk about how you're going to deliver on that. How you're going to deliver on it. So if it's not a forward-facing question, it's a hybrid one, I'd talk about just one thing that you're going to do. Just one thing, because already your answer's quite a long one. There's a lot to it, there's a lot of moving parts in it, but it'd be very, very different to other people's answers. And already this is causing people to pass. This is causing people to pass at a really, really high rate of knots. And they're feeling really confident going into their interview because they've got answers to rear-facing hybrid questions and forward-facing questions. They've got their answers to any type of question that could be asked. Why? Because we're planned, prepared, and practiced for them. That's what we do. So on the day you can actually perform. So understanding is where you actually talk about the thing that you're going to introduce. So when I am promoted to whatever rank, one of the first things I'm going to do in respect of the big thing is I'm going to introduce stuff. And you're going to talk about the stuff that you're going to introduce. Not just what you're going to do, but how you're going to do it. To the extent where you could even top and tail it and say, I'm so convinced that this will work that, come and see me in 6 months' time. Come and speak to my team in 6 months' time and ask them, what's Inspector Jones, whatever you're going to be, what are they actually doing about the big thing? And they're going to say, yeah, it's easy. He is doing this, this, and this, because that's your pledge. That's the forward-facing part of it. Makes sense? It's not hard, is it? It's not hard. All right, well, listen, if you'd like to find out a little bit more about everything we do there, because I've taken a sort of hop, skip, and jump across hours worth of input, especially in the webinars, then please do like and subscribe this to my channel. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and by the magic of YouTube and other social media platforms, you'll get more of these videos in tray, and they will be useful for you. If they're not useful for you, then just unsubscribe. Dead easy, isn't it? Real talk, that's what we do here, real talk. Check the links below if you want to join the academy or find out what's involved. We don't let everyone in. We're only going to let people in who we actually feel as though we can serve and whose needs we can address. If we feel as though we can't address your needs because actually you don't need us, you're going to be okay anyway, you just need a bit of guidance, then we'll point you in the right direction. We're honest enough to let people know that, and also honest enough to let people know that, yeah, I think it's a good fit for you. Our reputation, check the Trustpilot reviews, has been based on this for years. So if you'd like to find out a little bit more, click on the link you'll be able to complete a form, and after that you've completed that form, you'll be invited to a discovery call where you'll get to talk to me, and we'll discuss for 45 minutes to an hour whether you'd be a good fit for the academy, whether it's online assessment centre academy, final interview academy for the recruitment process, or for the promotion board academy. So I look forward to seeing you on one of those calls, and I'll catch up with you soon. Bye bye for now.